Hey guys, Melissa Zad here for Into Boxing. Delighted to be joined by Eddie Hearn. We've just had the weigh-in. It was so buzzing.
I know.
It was crazy.
I didn't expect it. Like, when you bring over an international opponent, sometimes the promoter goes, and there's a lot of Polish support in London, or there's a lot of Ukraine support in London. And actually, he was right this time. And yeah, we're going to have over 5,000 there tomorrow. They're saying that half of the crowd could be Polish, which would be an amazing atmosphere. And you know what? I love that for Lawrence Okoli, because it just brings that extra buzz. And I feel like Lawrence needs this kind of fight, because we keep talking about unifications and moving up to heavyweight, but I feel like he needs a fight where, you know, there is a great atmosphere and he can sort of showcase everything that he's been working on with Shane and his power as well. But it's also a very dangerous fight. Cislak in tremendous shape, and you know, we're going to get a brilliant fight.
What's your predictions for tomorrow night?
Do you know what? Cislak starts fast. He likes to come out and be aggressive. He likes to throw like this sort of right hand, almost looping right hand to the body, leans in a little bit, and he can punch. And I don't know, I wouldn't be surprised if both guys went down in this fight. The thing I love about cruiserweights is they're fast and they can punch. So it's actually really exciting. It's like watching, obviously, a smaller heavyweight, which it is, but and it's really good to watch. And these guys let their hands go with speed, especially with Lawrence. But if Cislak can take the power of Lawrence Okoli, which I actually don't think anyone can, then this is going to be a really tough night's work for Lawrence Okoli, because this guy is bang up for it.
I mean, Cislak looked in terrific shape on the scales. Yeah. The place was absolutely buzzing for him. It felt like Lawrence was the away fighter, which is kind of interesting.
But that should, you know, that should lift the fighter like Lawrence Okoli. You know, if you were struggling a little bit to get up for it, which I don't think he was, because he knows how good Cislak is, but everyone's talking about unifications, and not a lot of people know about Cislak outside of boxing. So if you're a little bit flat, you know, you walk up there and go, gee, right, okay, switch on now. So it's good for him to experience that today, because that'll be on his mind today and tonight. And when he gets in the arena, when he's backstage, he'll hear those fans, and that should really switch a fighter on.
So obviously we've had two huge announcements yesterday. The first is we already heard the murmurings in the corridors about Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte, which has now been confirmed. Same day, the promotional deal for yourself and Canelo Alvarez has been released as well. It's so exciting for you
it's
guys.
Great. I mean, that's a good heavyweight fight. Of course, that was, the news has been out there for a while, but obviously officially announced yesterday. For us, officially announcing sort of our multi-fight deal with Canelo Alvarez. First one, May 7th, Dmitry Bivol in Vegas. Looks like we're going to confirm that at the press conference on Wednesday. Just, I mean, obviously when we signed Anthony Joshua and, you know, signed him to a lifetime deal recently, it's a big moment for you as a business, because you want to get a great stable and stock of fighters, but you also want the biggest names out there. And with AJ and Canelo Alvarez, you sort of got everything covered on both sides of the pond. So for us to secure Canelo was big for us, because we've done 3 fights for him now, and it's been, I'm not just saying it, but he is the easiest fighter to work with of my whole stable, and he's the pound for pound #1 in the sport.
That says a lot.
I know, but it's like, you know, he gave us the opportunity and he gave us the respect and he let us go and do our job, and he loved it. But then after, obviously, he needed that belt, Caleb Plant, to become undisputed. We couldn't be involved with that fight, and I was there and I was supporting, but really, you know, deep down it's like, I want to be in there, you know, I want to be in the ring. So to get that for what is 2 at the moment secured fights and 3 in the making at the moment, particularly against Dmitry Bivol and a trilogy against Gennady Golovkin. I mean, it doesn't get any bigger. So I'm over the moon, and I'm really looking forward to working with him and Eddie Reynoso, and just watching them make history. They're an amazing pair. You know, they love boxing, they live boxing, and they're very inspirational to be around. Great energy, which, you know, I was talking about the other day, and I'm looking forward to seeing them this week.
Do you feel that it speaks to kind of your pound for pound promotional status, the fact that you've been able to secure Canelo for this multi-fight deal?
Yeah, you have to have the firepower of a broadcaster and a platform, because if you can't offer a competitive deal, then, you know, you've got no chance anyway. He could think I'm a great guy, but if I'm going in there with 2 bobs saying, I haven't got any money, but, well, you know, come on mate, we get on well. But it helps that we get on so well. So I think if on a level playing field, he'd always choose us. But he's also not brutal, but he's very sort of single-minded to the point of he knows what he wants. And if that doesn't involve me, then it's sorry, I love you, mate, but I need to do this. Like with Caleb Plant. he sort of said, look, I'm going to have to take this fight. I said, mate, I understand. You've got to go and take the fight. Wins, comes back, and then we get him again. So the difference is we've kind of always done these sort of one-off fights. Now we've got these 3 fights that we can really plan stuff. And people have really seen the personality of Canelo Alvarez come out with him speaking English, and he's hilarious. And he's nowhere near his ceiling yet. And also, when you've got someone as good as that, it's so like, again, take away Yildirim, who was a mandatory. He's gone Danny Jacobs, IBF middleweight world champion. He's gone Sergey Kovalev, WBO light heavyweight champion. He's gone Callum Smith, WBA super middleweight and Ring Magazine champion. He's gone Billy Joe Saunders, WBO middleweight champion. He's gone Caleb Plant, IBF world champion. Now he's going Dmitry Bivol, WBA light heavyweight world champion. Then Gennady Golovkin, IBF mid. That's his run. Like, how can you even criticise? It's unbelievable, and he doesn't even have to do it. You could give him easy fights around the world. People pay for Canelo Alvarez just to turn up and knock over anyone, but he wants to face the champions, and it was a big win for us.
Absolutely. I mean, Bivol first, that's a really tough fight. Triple G, and then there's 2 names kind of being thrown in the mix for the 3rd fight. One of them potentially Ryder in London. Yeah. Sorry, my mind just stopped there for a second. Yeah, Ryder in London. Is that something that you're keen to do, bring him to the UK? Yeah, he's
always, since I've known him, he's always talked about fighting in London. And right now you've got a guy that's just won an eliminator for Canelo's belt. Would be a great fight at the O2. Great opportunity for John Ryder. But he's still got all these fights to get through. Of course, Gennady Golovkin terms are agreed for that fight, but he has to beat Dmitry Bivol, and he has to beat Gennady Golovkin to get that 3rd fight as well. So it's a bit easier to plan with Canelo Alvarez because he's so good. But anything can happen. So first things first, all eyes on Dmitry Bivol.
Really exciting time for the fans in 2022. Also, just shout out to your GOMs because they are great.
Well, this is actually, again, I have to stop talking about Canelo because everyone just calls me a fanboy. But this is from his manufacturer.
Is it
really?
Yeah,
so his they make all these tracksuits.
Wow.
So they made me this one, and it's,
it looks great.
42 going on 21.
Love it, Eddie. Thank you very much.
Thank you.